Welcome back. My name's Jim Boyle. I'm the principal lawyer in the Boyle Law Firm. If you want to learn more about me or my firm, go to my website, jamesfboyle.com. Also, if you want to copy any of the documents in this video series, you can get them on my website. If you've been with me through the series, you know this is a series on how to prepare your own simple Texas divorce. This is meant for an uncontested divorce with no children and little or no property. If it gets any more complicated than that, I recommend you hire an attorney. Next, these are the documents that you are going to need: the civil cover sheet, the petition, which we've covered already, the waiver of citation, the state reporting form, the final decree of divorce, and the testimony for your prove-up. Hopefully in this video we will finish up on the final decree of divorce, and I'm going to pause the video for a moment while we pull the decree up. Welcome back. We are looking at the final decree of divorce. We've divided the property in the last video. In this video, we're going to divide the debt. And this is set up just like the previous section was. In other words, we're going to have a series of paragraphs that assign certain debts to the husband. Then we're going to have the same series of paragraphs that assign debts to the wife. In this particular example, the husband comes first. In our sample divorce that we've been using, the wife, Jane Doe, has filed for divorce, and the husband, John Doe, is the respondent, the non-filing party. This paragraph divides the debt up, and it simply says that the husband is going to be assigned the following debts. His name will go in this blank. And then we have 2 or 3 paragraphs. And I suggest to you again that if it gets much more complicated than this, consider hiring an attorney, spend the money that it takes to have it done right. This first paragraph assumes that there's a vehicle that's being awarded to the husband, that there's money owed on the vehicle. And so in this first blank space, you're going to put the name of whoever the money is owed to: Ford Motor Credit, General Motors, whoever it is. And then this next line, you're going to describe the vehicle: 2002 Ford, whatever it is. In the next paragraph, it's very general. The following debts, charges, liabilities, and obligations. And this is an area where you can list some debts that the husband's going to assume. For example, if there's credit card debt, you might list it there, be specific. And any other sort of debt. This next paragraph assumes the parties are separated, and it provides that you're going to put a date in this paragraph, and the date is in other words, he has all the debts and obligations that he incurred since the date we've been separated, whatever that date is. And this final paragraph is just a general paragraph that says he's going to pay all taxes on property that has been awarded to him. If you have no property, you won't need any of these paragraphs. Next, we have a provision for debts to wife. In the first paragraph, it assigns the debts generally to the wife, and you're going to put her name in this blank space here. And then these provisions that follow, W1, W2, W3, W4, are just the same paragraphs that were there for the husband. Now we're getting towards the end of this decree. There's a provision here for court costs. Court costs, it states, are going to be assumed by the party who incurred them. The next provision, it's called decree acknowledgement. You can call it what you want. Just basically states that the parties have read the final decree, they approve of it, they understand what's in here, and they want the court to approve this final decree. The next provision, I was a little bit reluctant to put this in here. It can be a little complicated. This indemnification provision, it essentially provides that if somebody has an outstanding debt, for example, the husband has an outstanding debt that he hasn't told the wife about, and that after the divorce is final, the wife is sued on that debt, that he is going to indemnify her for any liability she might incur on that in that action. Again, this is supposed to be a simple, uncontested divorce without children, without property. If you need indemnification provisions in there, if you need detailed provisions dividing assets, if you need detailed provisions dividing debt, by all means, hire an attorney and have him draft the documents for you and have it done the right way. That's my telephone. Welcome back. I apologize for that. Next, this is simply a provision that states the court reserves the right to make any orders necessary to clarify and enforce the judgment. Finally, this is another boilerplate paragraph. I call it boilerplate paragraph that essentially says that any relief not requested is denied. It goes on to provide that this is a final judgment for all purposes. This is the provision that says your final decree is final, in other words. Now, you're going to need a space in the final decree for the judge to sign it. All right, signed on. This line right here is going to be the date of the divorce. When were you divorced? I was divorced on such and such a date. All right. When the judge signs it, when he dates it, that's the date of the divorce. You're going to need a signature space and a signature line for the court, for the judge to sign. And then you're also going to need a signature space for the husband, the respondent in this case, and the wife, the petitioner in this case, to sign. So both parties would sign off on this, and this is the document that the court is going to sign to make the divorce final. Now, that concludes our video on the final decree of divorce. On the next video, we're going to talk about some of the other documents, the form documents that you need, and I'll see you then.